Hello and welcome back to This Week in New Genre Books. My name is Amelia, and from Locus Magazine we're going to tell you all the new science fiction, fantasy, horror, and related books being published the week of November 5th, 2024. Lots of science fiction this week about deep space colonies, first contact, and mysterious planets, plus a series of mysterious onslaughts, digital ghosts, evil insects, and a snowstorm with a will of its own. Go ahead and like this video for me. It means a lot to us and helps us more than you might know. First up, science fiction, we have 7 new titles coming out this week. From Iris Compiet and St. Bende, we have Star Wars Bestiary, Volume 1, out from Titan Books UK in hardcover and ebook. This is a science fiction art book, first in a series of 2 featuring all new original artwork of otherworldly species and monstrous creatures in the Star Wars universe, with text descriptions of each life form. From Seb Dubinsky, we have The Sum of All Things, out from Meerkat Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is a science fiction noir dystopian novella, third and final in the City-States cycle series. In New Samarkand, the king is very ill, with no successor. Terrorist groups plague the city. A new museum exhibit displaying the magnificent tomb of 2 Amazonian sisters causes chaos. From Richard Fox, we have Men of Breton, out from Baen in hardcover and ebook. This is a military science fiction novel. Soldiers for the hegemony have been dropped on Darien to fight the rebel flags. Now one lost soldier, the only survivor of an ambush, struggles through rebel-controlled jungles to make his way back to hegemony-controlled territory. From Lavanya Lakshminarayan, we have Interstellar Mega Chief, out from Solaris UK in trade paperback and audio. This is a science fiction novel, first in the Flavor Hackers series. Saras Kaveri is headed to be the first Earthling to compete in the prestigious cooking show Interstellar Mega Chef. Then she meets an inventor who wants to create a food sim and needs the help of a chef. From Travis S. Taylor and Les Johnson, we have Crisis at Proxima, out from Baen in hardcover and ebook. This is a science fiction novel, second in the Orion's Arm series. First contact with the human civilization of Proxima Centauri is not going well. The aid missions from Earth have not been able to reverse the contagion ravaging their population, and Proximians now wonder if the Earthlings are there for other not-so-charitable reasons. From David Wellington, we have Revenant X, out from Orbit US in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a science fiction horror novel, the second in the Red Space trilogy. Earth's first deep space colony goes silent, and investigators go to find out why. What they find is a deserted site, except for a few colonists who are no longer human. From Lorraine Wilson, we have We Are All Ghosts in the Forest, out from Solaris UK in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a literary science fiction novel. After the internet collapses, it leaves digital ghosts, hungry and haunting the world. Katerina escapes to her grandmother's village. A wordless boy finds her, and he's got her name in his pocket. After he arrives, a digital disease stirs up the ghosts. Katerina is accused of witchcraft and must flee to the forest, mysterious boy in tow. Next up, horror, we have 2 titles. From Jennifer D. Lyle, we have Snowdrowned, out from Sourcebooks Fire in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult horror novel set on a remote New England island. On Fall Island, the snowstorms have a spooky way of claiming people, making them disappear without a trace, or else driving them mad. Now, a huge 100-year storm is approaching, and those who have chosen to remain on the island also have to deal with a ritual murder. From Andy Marino, we have The Swarm, out from Red Hook in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a horror novel. A detective is working to solve a bizarre murder case when swarms of deadly insects begin emerging from the ground. Barricaded in a motel with a group of strangers, they try to unravel the terrible purpose behind the investigation before humanity goes extinct. Next up, fantasy, we have 6 new books this week. From Larry Correia, we have Graveyard of Demons, out from Baen in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy novel, 5th in the Saga of the Forgotten Warrior series. Ashok Vedal traverses deserts, battles sea demons, and navigates political treachery as he grapples with his identity and newfound purpose. From Sharon Lynn Fisher, we have Grim Curiosities, out from 47 North in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a historical fantasy novel set in York, England. In 1851, Lizzie Grimm struggles to save her family's antique shop. Her mother and sister suffer a strange condition. They're silent and unresponsive after speaking with ghosts. A rare book in the shop might hold the key to curing the stricken women, and a sinister collector wants it for himself. From Nicole Glover, we have The Improvisers, out from Harper Voyager US in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy mystery novel, a standalone set in the murder and magic world. Barnstorming pilot, former bootlegger, and wielder of celestial magic, Velma Fry also investigates arcane oddities for a magical rights organization. That sounds like a fun job. Now she's looking into a pocket watch that instigated a magical brawl after one of her flight shows. From Isabel Ibanez, we have Where the Library Hides, out from Hoderscape in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel, the second in the Secrets of the Nile duology. Inez Oliveira has traveled across the world to Egypt, seeking answers into her parents' recent and mysterious deaths. To get her inheritance, she may have to marry Whitford Hayes, a former British soldier with his own mysterious reasons for staying in Egypt. From Julie Leong, we have debut novel The Teller of Small Fortunes, out from Ace in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy novel. Tao is a wandering fortune teller who travels between villages, telling small fortunes. Small fortunes? She's learned that big fortunes come with big consequences. Then a small fortune unexpectedly becomes something more, and she's recruited into a band of misfits desperately searching for a lost child. From Charlene Thomas, we have Streetlight People, out from Dutton in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel. Katie tries to use her time-altering abilities to relive her relationship with her absent boyfriend. The more she manipulates time, the more enemies she attracts. Eventually, all of this time-manipulating stuff reveals the dark secret of her town, Streetlight. Finally, in our collections and anthologies category, we have 3 new books. From David Boop, we have Last Train out of Kepler 283C, out from Baen in trade paperback and ebook. This is an original anthology of 13 Weird West space stories, third in the series. Authors include Sharon Lee and Steve Miller, Mark L. Van Name, Chesia Burke, Kevin Ekenberry, David Mack, and John Sith. From Brendan Deneen, we have Shadow Lab, out from Blackstone Publishing in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is an anthology of 7 stories. Authors include Ed Cho, Brian Francis Slattery, Nicholas Sansbury Smith, and Rebecca Webb. From Gregory Frost, we have Beyond Here, Be Monsters, out from Fairwood Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is a collection of 14 dark, sinister, and comic stories. That wraps up this week. Please subscribe and turn notifications on so that YouTube can help us connect. We are at Locus Mag and at Locus Magazine on most platforms. Locus is a 501c3 nonprofit. We love books, and we're going to tell you everything we can about what's going on in the science fiction, fantasy, horror publishing space. Thanks for spending some time with us. If you've got it to give, we've got a Patreon. We couldn't do this work without your support. We'll see you next week with more new books.